Hello, welcome to Breakfast Central this beautiful Wednesday morning, reaching you live from the city of Lagos, Nigeria's commercial nerve center. If you are a uniformed personnel in the Nigerian Armed Forces, well, I'm sure lots of you will be smiling this morning following the presidential directive of a salary increment. Yes, today is a day that you will rejoice and be glad in it. Come the 1st of September, the salary increment for members of the armed forces will be effective. So we'll give you details of that. And many people are applauding this move, and they're also saying that, please, Mr. President, after the military personnel, please remember teachers. There's a saying that the reward for teachers is in heaven. No, some teachers are saying they want it here on earth because of the critical job they do, just like members of the armed forces. But we'll get into details of that and more. My name is Benga Aborowa. Yes, for the next 3 hours, me and the duo, yes, which makes us a trio, will be taking you through Nigeria's biggest stories, news stories and current affairs. And we'll bring subject matter analysts to break down some of these stories for you in bit sizes so that you can analyze and understand what's going on in this great country of ours. I'm not alone, as I said earlier. I will hand you over to the leader of the team, the Joe Anson-led breakfast.
I really don't know.
Bro, I know you like to be humble. Humility is a positive attribute to have, but sometimes you just have to own it. To whom honor is given,
To whom much is given, much is expected.
Much is expected, exactly. So,
I agree with you, big guy. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, every single person who's joining us this morning here on Breakfast Central. It's been a dramatic day, especially from yesterday up until now. Aside from the cardinal issue, social media is agog with Benga. It's all about Osun State.
oh yeah.
Everywhere is...
why is this? It's
I don't
like
know.
I mean, Osun State, and then the cardinal issue keeps.
Yes.
You think we should be done with it, and then another day, another twist. Yesterday was about a forged letter, but so many things happen. You know.
I heard about that forged letter and I was taken aback. And I said to myself, okay, let's first of all, we need to investigate that story and find out how true it is concerning the forged, letter. Besides that, there's also so much focus on these two stories that we have all of a sudden been forgotten about the Minister of Works and the Aliba story. Although we're being told that a group of persons did come out to say, listen, they're not going to allow that particular case die down.
Yes.
They will follow through. And a certain man came out and said he was being threatened by the minister. Back and forth. But that's a story that we should also find closure on. Another story, again, that we seem to have been quiet, although there was a twist yesterday, is the prince, the embattled prince, Benga, the PFIPC story. That's another story we should find out where we are. Because by now, the ICPC ought to maybe have concluded their investigation. It's stolen. It's taken too long. We wonder why it's taken that long. Don't forget that also you have the House of Representatives.
No, I think they
sitting on that
the
as well.
30-day ultimatum that has been given to them. So
yeah, I mean, but Benga, let's be honest. Must you wait till 30 days?
Well, that's the mandate Mr. President gave them. So,
but with the look of things, must you wait till it's 30 days? And one thing I also know is that there should be updates. Like we say, it's our job, though, so that's why we're doing it. It's our job. We also need to find updates, give Nigerians updates, help Nigerians understand where the story is, where the case is as we speak now, and then we find a closure to it. But then again, those are the two stories that I thought to remember this morning. There's also the case, I don't know if you remember that story of that young man who was killed by the military personnel. That young man who was serving the nation, the NYC guy in the north. I don't know if you remember. They jumped into his home.
Yes, it was in Abuja. Brigade of Guards, soldiers attached to the Brigade of Guards. Very unfortunate situation.
Very unfortunate. We're still waiting for updates on that. These are the things we're talking about. If you don't solve certain issues, there's no way you expect that these issues will not repeat itself, because there needs to be an example. There needs to be a clarity on how issues are handled, so that anyone who is thinking, in quotes, of engaging in such will remember what was meted on the previous individual or group of persons, and that will help them to either rescind or go back, stop, or not even engage, if at all. But that's that. There are also stories that the president is looking to meet with President Trump. I'm talking about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu meeting with President Trump. And then there are stories that there are a group of people who are trying to stop that meeting from happening. Well, these are just pocket-sized stories that we're picking, and also remembering a very important stories where Nigerians are asking questions. They want closure on them. But we'll do our best here on News Central to always continue to bring to you the latest stories and continue to dig deeper to find answers to some of the stories that have not yet concluded. Binga, where do we start from here? Olive is around the corner as usual. Yeah, don't worry. No. We don't show her yet. She will be joining us. Let's take charge first, Olive. This is the men-led Breakfast Central. Yes, people will say, oh, there's gender parity, gender inequality at some point.
No, Olive is fine. She'll join us very soon.
Olive, solid. Yes. She's solid. But let's move on now. This morning, this is our Belle, Auntie Bello. Okay, it's okay.
We'll start with good news. Yes.
Yeah, of course, good news. Very good news, fantastic news. Nigeria's president, you said it already, but let's let the Nigerians know again. The Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has approved you could say, an increase of between 30% to 80% for armed forces personnel, in a move expected to boost the troops' commitment and dedication to combat insecurity in Africa's most populous nation. About 250,000 Naira military personnel expected, did I say 2,000? I beg your pardon, 250,000 military personnel expected to benefit from this new raise as the new salary structure takes effect from September. Take note, September 1, 2026. The SSA to the President, Sabayo Nonuga, Special Advisor, actually made the statement on X on Tuesday. Personnel from private to staff sergeant will receive an 80% increase. Officers from colonel down to warrant officer will get a 50% raise. We also heard there's 30% and so on. But let's look at it. That's what you have there on the screen. He said about 250,000 personnel are to benefit. He starts by saying President has approved salary increases of between 30 and 80% for Nigeria's armed forces personnel. About 250 personnel to benefit from the new deal. Under the new arrangement, which becomes effective from September 1, officers above the mark colonel will enjoy a 30% salary increase. This applies to brigadier generals, major generals, lieutenant generals, and generals. Personnel from colonel down to warrant officer will have a 50% increase, while private to staff sergeant will have an 80% increase. The pay package will increase the yearly salary bill for the country's armed forces personnel from 660 billion to 924 billion naira. President Tinubu has always praised the courage and sacrifices of members of the armed forces as they confront the scourge of banditry, kidnapping, and terrorism in some parts of the country. The men and the women who help to keep us safe in our homes must be supported and appreciated in the course of their duties to our nation. Administration will continue to prioritize troop welfare and modernize the armed forces by providing the weapons and technological means that they do need to actually carry out their duties. Well, Binga, good news, I must say.
Yes, very, very good news and commendable move by Mr. President to move in the right direction. And I'm sure it's going to get a lot of plaudits from observers, because we've talked about how stretched the Nigerian army has been, how the many of them paying the ultimate price and supreme price in the course of defending their fatherland. And the current salary structure, it's about 100,000 naira, so 50% is about 150,000 for the least ranked member of the armed forces, which is a private and a rating in the Navy, an airman in the Air Force. So with this new increment, we're looking at about 250,000, which is quite a decent salary. And then from the rank of colonel all the way to private, that's it's 50%, which is quite a lot. And even and I like the way it's been structured, because these are the fighting men. These are the men, the foot soldiers, the men in the front line who are in the front line against the war against insurgency. And many of them have been cut short. They've been maimed. They've lost a lot of comrades in the fight against insurgency. So it's only right that the government appreciates their duty and sacrifice to the nation by ordering this salary increment. And I'm sure it's going to go a long way in boosting troop morale and their commitment to, fighting, and also the recruitment drive for ordinary civilians that are interested in a career in the armed forces. I mean, if you get a job that offers you 250,000 naira base salary in current realities of Nigeria today, which is more than triple or quadruple the minimum wage, I'm sure quite a lot of people will jump at it, looking at the multidimensional poverty in the country. So kudos to Mr. President, and I like that, it's not just an announcement. There's a timeline to it that come 1st of September 2026, it will be implemented. So it's a great way to start off the day.
Well, that's a good one too. So we're saying a good way to go, good way to start the show, good way to look at the improvement. Improved wages have always been called for. This also means that the Minister of Defense, who just last 2 weeks ago was saying that they're looking into it, they have to look at the welfare. I'm sure he'll be smiling right now, knowing that, okay, it's about time where, of course, members...
And then the overall wage bill, I mean, for the spending for defense is...
Yeah, 900 something billion.
We're seeing that it's been pushed up from 660 to about 900 and something billion. Is it a price that is worth it? Or is it something we can absorb as a country? I think, we can afford it.
We can afford it. We've been here many times. We've looked at the documents. We've seen where monies are being designated or prepared or kept for things like, the president himself, while he was talking to the cardinals, did say that he's also urging the governors that they might want to review looking into infrastructure alone. It's not about bridges. And that's the truth. And I know that we've said that here many times. You can't keep building bridges and people who are supposed to use these bridges are not alive or they are hungry.
Yeah.
Secondly, if he said that and he wants them to actually look into it, then it's high time they look into it. And I think see, Winger, there's money. There is money, whether we like it or not.
And if
Subsidy,
you cut the waste and overall
that's it.
recurring expenditure on unnecessary things like buying of SUVs every few months or every year, because these cars don't expire, we would save a lot, and that money can be channeled into more productive venture.
We've always said that, yeah, and we'll continue to say it here, that Nigeria doesn't, it's not that Nigeria doesn't have money. Nigeria just has we
have a spending problem.
A spending problem. Experts have joined us here. We've had experts from different parts of the country, outside of the country. They keep saying, listen, Nigeria, your priority is basically your conscience. Your priority is basically the major decisions that you need to take. What comes first? It's like saying we're building new roads. The old ones are in a deplorable state. They need to be fixed. Now, that's priority. If you can fix the old ones, get them into perfect shape and condition, then you can start thinking of alternatives. But if you're going for alternatives, abandoning the ones that are currently in use, it's making lives of our lives difficult.
It's quite irresponsible, to say the least, because you haven't finished focusing on the current one that are being used by millions of people, and they're groaning under the weight of the terrible road they're losing productive man hours, people are losing lives, and then you decide that, no, let my priority be this other one I'm working on. It's not a good look at all. And that's what the presidential candidate of the People's Redemption Party, PRP, Mr. Donald Duke, former governor of Cross River State, I did emphasize yesterday in an interview that he feels it's a waste of resources talking about the coastal road. But the jury is out on that. You decide what you think. But let's look at what Nigerians are saying.
Yeah, let me start from YouTube. Mr. Johnson says, Benga called his surname as a true Yoruba man this morning.
I always do.
So good morning, Breakfast Central. That's what he says. Okay, let's take more. Moke Chukwemeka says, good morning, John Benga. Good morning to you. Michael Zeus says, Benga, John Olive, we, your viewers, are not happy that once Tinubu's name is mentioned in a comment, you guys block it out for your info. And in case you don't know, we, the voters, are his employers. I don't understand.
Okay, when we edit or do some gatekeeping with regards to some comments, you can't make a disrespectful statement about
I get where it's coming from.
names and expect us to also use our mouth to. I mean, there's freedom of speech, but I mean, let's moderate our comments.
Yeah, I mean, it says, okay, we voters are his employers and employers of all elected and appointed office holders. Therefore, they are servants and answerable to us on all official matters. Well, we agree, yes. I mean, you put both the president and the officers who definitely are in office. We agree with that. But Benga has explained. I mean, your comments, once we know that they are...
I mean, even if it's not, you're not addressing the president.
Yeah.
Any human being or any person, if you're going to make
you should.
ad hominem and insultive comments, you don't expect us to read it on TV. It's only... we're guided by NBC code also.
Lillian Oloa says, good morning, NC crew. Olive Shakara is being escalated since that her birthday.
That birthday is a year-long celebration.
Please, we need our queen to always address us before the guys.
Yes, so.
Okay, you know what? The queen will start addressing you people. In short, queen. Okay, okay. All right. You see the queen very soon.
You take it like that.
Femi Olagunju says, good morning, News Central. Thanks for giving us updates on daily basis. Kudos. The new salary increase for military officers is a good one, but it should cut across all sectors like education, so says. And Benga also rightly mentioned that. You guys are great. You're doing a good job. Is a coastal road a waste of resources before money that could have been used to fix internal roads, he says. Well, I wouldn't say the coastal road is a waste of resources, whether you like it or not. I would say the coastal road was actually a very good one, because if we look at the long-term benefits, I mean, it's cutting across different states, whatever you like it. So that's why it's called Lagos Calabar. That's the length in which it's going to go. It's going to cut across other states as well. It would, and the benefits are humongous, but that's not what we're highlighting. While you highlight the benefits, I think we here have always mentioned there are other things that are not clear.
Yes, and even still talking of the same roads, is it a crime for the other roads to be in a motorable state? While you're fixing this Calabar
That's one.
Road.
That's one. Two, Benga, we've talked about, was there environmental impact assessment?
The bidding process.
That was the first thing everybody asked for.
Single most expensive capital infrastructure project in the history of Nigeria.
Absolutely.
I mean, since the amalgamation of Nigeria, since Lord Lugard in 1914, it's the biggest.
The biggest.
And there's no open bidding process.
That is the second thing. You award
the contract to somebody who you've openly and publicly said is your friend, and you have some interest in this business. Is that not... Does it not raise questions about conflict of interest? And
thank you. So
these are some of the issues that Nigerians are raising. But
I agree. And then there's more. And then there's more about the road. The road, they also looked at the impact it had on flooding.
Yes, the environmental impact.
So
and also, do you know the marshy areas in Epe? Because I follow it closely. There are some YouTubers that are doing a fantastic job in, giving updates on the project, even more than the Ministry of Works itself. They fly drones, they tell us what chainage they're in. I believe the project is somewhere in Ogun State now. And do you know the amount of sand they have to do to compact and sand fill some areas before you even build. And it's a standard road because they have street lights, they have
Of course.
all of that, modern roads, and it's concrete.
By the way,
So imagine the cost. I mean, even the cost in dollars is staggering because it's going into billions of dollars.
by the way, let me mention the street lights on the coastal road. They might want to look into that as well. I don't know if it's.
What have you observed?
It doesn't last. It doesn't stay the brightness. It doesn't stay that long.
Yeah, maybe because it's the raining season. So when on days where you have high intensity of sun, yes, it's brighter. I've noticed that too.
But even
maybe
when,
that's the price you have to pay for renewable.
Even when
solar street lights.
But have you seen
that are not powered by the grid?
Benga, you're well traveled. I mean, you've seen renewable energy in other countries as well.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not saying they're not, but come on.
Maybe, I mean, it's a valid argument. It's something you have to look into. So are you going to say on rainy days, safety would be somehow compromised because it's raining? Because I remember when the street lights used to be connected to the grid, they are
that's taking us backwards.
Yeah, and then I mean the cost of refilling.
The local government chairman did not give money for diesel.
For diesel,
the power the gen.
So,
come on.
Even in modern use of street lights, the LEDs and renewable energy, there should be something. There should be a sort of storage that doesn't allow the light to be dim on days.
We agree. But kudos, a good one. Nigerian military, well done. What we don't want to hear this morning is that when it's September, October will now see on the headlines.
We're still working on the modalities.
Oh my goodness.
Set up a committee to implement
it. Aye, please, no committee.
You can't raise the hopes of people and then dash it.
Or we hear that in November, military officers cry. I'm trying to create a headline. You know those basic headlines.
That salary,
military officers
increment has not been implemented. Or they want to attach it to 2027 budget to start on a fresh note. But God forbid that will happen. I'm sure.
Please.
I mean, for them to have made this announcement. And we're not just asking, I mean, Joe didn't raise this just out of the blue or from his pocket. It's because of antecedents that we've witnessed in the past, policy reversals and things like that. That's
absolutely.
Why, Nigerians are somehow skeptical. Even when there's good news, they take it with a pinch of salt.
Absolutely. It's just a case of trust. But let's move away from that good news to this one, likely tension. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke, on Tuesday, formally received Commissioner Police Elections, Samuel Etaifo, ahead of the Osun governorship polls, with a newly deployed officer assuring that the police will provide impartial, professional, and adequate security before, during, and after the exercise. Governor Adeleke welcomed the deployment, but raised concerns over the reinstatement of CP Ibrahim Gota, whom his campaign accused of harassment and intimidation in the past, while also condemning recent arrests of political figures and warning that perceived bias in policing could undermine voter confidence, stressing that the Inspector General of Police must reassure Osun residents that their votes will be protected and the election conducted peacefully in line with the Electoral Act. Let's just take a look at this clip.
We have with us DCP Primarily Suleiman, the Deputy Commissioner of Police, in charge of the investigation department. And the last was not the least, the reason why we're here, CP election, Osun State, Everly Samuel Etaifo, PSC, MNIPS, CP election Osun State.
Okay, there you have it. The new Commissioner of Police for Osun elections received by Governor Jackson Ademola Adeleke ahead of the highly anticipated August 15th gubernatorial elections. All eyes are on Osun State. So Nigerians are wondering if the deployment of this new commissioner of police to the state would
To focus on
ease
elections.
tensions. Yes.
To just focus on elections, you know. That's what it said. Binga, the new one, the former one has not been redeployed out of the state. It's still there. So the governor is saying, but why? If someone has been touted, I mean, allegedly, and for some, they said it's proven that he's been carrying out his duty not in a professional manner, the police has its code, and the expectations are that he's going to be redeployed away completely. The question now is, since he hasn't been redeployed, does he still have an impact on the process? It's a question.
And what's his new role exactly?
Yeah, they said he's just taking care of, you know, other, like a way. The new CP is CP4, focus on elections. That's another question I want to ask. Do you bring in a CP to just look at elections? The question is, after the elections, are you going to replace the other one back? These are clear, we need clarification.
What message are you sending about professionalism if there's a CP that has been appointed way before the elections and then you change him because of elections? Are you trying to say that he's not competent enough to superintend over the elections, or you have question marks over his professionalism? These are mixed signals that that move is sending. And then if you redeploy a new CP, what's the point of allowing the immediate past CP to remain in the state?
That's another question.
You're going to relieve him of his appointment. So, I mean, lots of question marks there. And
but then
it's the police authorities that will be in the position to explain their moves and this appointment, because it's their purview.
But then again, we must also give kudos to the Inspector General of Police for listening. Binga, we've seen where there are times where we even saw more serious cases, more calls were made by either citizens or governors that, oh, this person isn't doing too well, this particular CP or this particular police officer, and it falls on deaf ears. Action, we don't see action. But what I've noticed with the current IG, if you notice, there's a trend. Whenever we talk about something here, whenever a video is on X, whenever people are able to capture police officers engaging in nefarious acts, it takes 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, and the next thing we hear is they've been apprehended. They've been apprehended. The only thing we're going to ask the IG of police to do, I mean, I must say he's doing a fantastic job, is let's have a closure. I'm always after closures. I don't know why. I feel closures put pen to paper and shut the door completely. And like I always say, it forms the precedence of what will happen in the future.
Absolutely.
We can always refer to it and reference and say, like the 4 police officers who took the ICPC chairman and told him, withdraw 53,000 plus. Okay, pay for the charges too. And they shared the money. Yes, we saw their pictures, their images were made known to the public, but we need a presser that says, listen, this is an update. And that would also help us to say, okay, this has been closed. Another person who's been caught, just like that. But so far, so good. I mean, it's looking good. We didn't see what Nigerians are saying in the previous story, that had to do with our first story about the increase in the
increase.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. I think we should go back to see what Nigerians are saying on X with that before we come back to see what Nigerians are saying on X on the Osun elections. Few days to go. So let's start off first with what Nigerians are saying with our previous story. Then we come back to look at what Nigerians are saying on the Osun election story. Remember, it's 10 days to go to the all-important election in Osun State. And questions are rising. People are talking. Factions are also springing up left, right, and center. Let's know if our producers have that. Let's go straight on X. Let's see what Nigerians are saying.
Molima Idimato, PhD, says, a very commendable gesture from Mr. President. That's talking about the announcement of salary increment to members of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Ashwaju Said Olawale says, this is one of the biggest good news Nigerians have been expecting from Mr. President. Thank you, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for making the welfare of our security forces your priority. Osumba Khashoggi says this salary increase couldn't have come at a better time, at a period where the military have been decimating bandits and terrorists. It will further boost the morale of our troops. Congratulations to the military and kudos to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Cyber also says members of the military and intelligence apparatus should not serve more than 10 years without the capacity to own their own houses or car.
Oh, that would be so sweet.
T-Visual says, I guess this is a sign to enlist in the military. And I did mention this in my opening statement. That it would encourage people to join the military, at least.
I mean, if you know that entry, it's just like banks, Benga. You know that your entry level is no longer, is now 250. It comes with accommodation because the military guys need to rest their heads. If you see all of that, another thing I'm also going to ask is that, I mean, what I like to know, the military has one of the best hospitals.
And then, I mean, it's a professional career. And you're allowed to follow, to go for degree courses, and they're members of the military that are educated up to PhD level. So if you think you can always explore a career in the military. And now that the salary has been increased, it would encourage more Nigerians to enlist.
But have you also thought about this? I mean, this morning we're going retro. I like what we're doing. We're looking retrospective, like introspectively. Now that you highlighted that, and I like that because that's the truth. If the salary of the military is 250 in quotes as an entry, more people will enroll. Employment struggles that the current administration has been battling with. You'll be able to say, okay, we've been able to get XYZ people to enroll, not just the military. Like many have said, I heard that there's a meeting with the resident doctors and the Association of Medical Practitioners. You have that meeting as well, review that. If the salaries are indeed good, implement that, because questions that we have always asked is, if you say we're making more money from subsidy removal, the question has always been, Benga, where is the money going to? Where are they going to? If you put it in these sectors, you put it in the medical field, the healthcare, education, let's even say healthcare, you say, okay, resident doctors, you name them, everybody has a fair review of salaries. Not 70,000 can't do anything anymore.
Yeah, that's why it's called a livable wage. Money that would put your head above.
Exactly. If a livable wage is like 250, guess what? Those who are planning to say, let me jackpot, let me even go to a neighboring African country, will sit back and say, okay, let's look at it. You look into education as well. Education, they've been crying for the past decades. Solve that. I think instead of purchasing new cars for the lawmakers, because it's 4 years after, the cars they've been using, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't see why new cars should also still be in the budget. Or
agencies and parastatals, unnecessary budget line budgets on line items on the budget. We will save a lot if we do tighten our belts. And tightening of belts should not only be for Nigerians. The government needs to lead by example.
They have to look into that as well. But that's a good one. Let's see what Nigerians are saying concerning the Osun state elections. Don't forget, 10 days to go, and everywhere is heating up. Good enough, we did see the new CP there meeting with the governor and assuring him that all will be well. But what are you saying? What are Nigerians saying about the situation? Forget it. These police are biased and aligned to the APC. Are you sure? With what I saw today at Odeon, with the police using their trucks to carry APC supporters. Really? Did you record it? That is all you need to know about the election. The federal government is complicit too. That's one. Let's see another one. The sitting posture of the CP get as Ibisha Benga. You see comments? You know go salute ke. And then let's see. Okay, all right. Those are the comments we're going to take this morning on Breakfast Central. Going back to YouTube, 80% of 490,000 is 39,200, which brings it to 88,200. What happened to the? Your calculations are indeed out of this world. You try to break it down nicely. Nigeria Police Department just have to put many things in place because Osun case shows clearly that governors are never the CSOs of their own state. Maybe that's until they move the new policing bill from the exclusive list to the concurrent list. We'll get to see what will happen as
when
well.
you have state policing, does it mean that state governors will now use the state police apparatus for their own bidding when it comes to election situations?
That's why we talked about did we talk about that yesterday on Wake Up? The SSA to the President by Onanuga stating that they're going to have a tour.
Oh, yes, there's going to be.
We talked about that, did we?
No,
we didn't. Okay,
well,
that was supposed to make our Wake Up conversation. Yeah, they're going to have a tour across CSO, civil service organizations, Nigerians. Everybody should have an input into the police bill, the new police bill. That's why they need to develop a framework. If there's no framework, it simply means that anybody or any governor will choose to use the state police as they like.
That's why they're doing this roadshow, to allow Nigerians contribute, and they'll take feedback back to Mr. President, reject the bill, and then look before it's passed. But I guess this is all we can take on Wake Up Conversations this morning. We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, it'll be time for our first top story. But before we go, let's bring you our top stories for today. State Police Bill ready for President's review by September the 3rd, Bajabiamila says. Opposition coalition is bound to fail, says the FCT minister. It declares opposition coalition a failure. PFIPC probe, agribusiness man alleges 400 million payment to XDG. Yes. And then also on this PFIPC saga, ICPC concludes probe as House panel sets to release findings.
So that sets the answers.
Yes. We'll also bring you newspaper front pages. Do stay with us. Breakfast Central continues shortly.
Good morning and welcome back to Breakfast Central. The controversy surrounding the purported Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council, PFIPC, has reignited debates about accountability and institutional oversight in Nigeria's public service. Now, the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission, ICPC, and other related offenses, of course, has concluded its investigation into the matter, while the House of Representatives ad hoc committee is set to present its findings after weeks of public hearings and document verification.
The committee says it has uncovered evidence suggesting widespread document forgery, while the man at the center of the controversy, Prince Adeni Adeyemi, insists he's being denied a fair hearing and deserves the opportunity to defend himself before lawmakers. Beyond the fate of those involved, the controversy has raised broader questions about institutional accountability, document verification, and the safeguards needed to protect the integrity of public institutions.
Join us this morning at Breakfast Central to unpack the legal, governance and political implications of this development is Honourable Sergius Ogun, former member of the House of Representatives from 2015 to 2023. One welcome to you, Honourable Ogun, and thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
The ICPC has concluded its investigation. Mr. President gave them 30 days, while the House Committee is preparing to present its findings. As a former lawmaker and someone who's familiar with the workings of the National Assembly, what stands out to you about this case, and what should Nigerians expect from the outcome?
Well, Nigerians should expect a lot, but I'm not expecting a whole lot from the committee set up by the National Assembly and even the ICPC. Those that know in the National Assembly have a fair idea of what will be the outcome of the committee, because the minute the leadership of that committee emerged, excuse me, the minute the leadership of that committee emerged, I knew that nothing will come out of it. I don't want to elaborate too much on that.
No, but I mean, our viewers need to understand, because, I mean, for you to say that, based on the composition of the committee, they need to understand the reasoning behind you saying that, nothing will come out of it. Is it based on the individuals in the committee, or is there something else?
The leadership of the committee.
You don't have confidence in the individual that is leading that committee?
Yeah, the minute I saw the name, it became a fait accompli that nothing will come out of it. So it was just They're just going through the motions. I can tell you that for free. Nothing.
Is it based on previous character evidence? I mean, of this individual, or certain or conflict of interest? I mean, we're only doing our job as journalists. I'm sorry to go further. Yes.
Yeah, I would try not to disparage anybody, but based on the closeness between the individual, that's the chairman of the committee, and other characters, or supposedly some of the people that are supposed to be investigating, I didn't see how anything positive could have come out from there. And just to prove me right, not even wrong, was the fact that they said 29 of the documents or something that the gentleman, Prince Adeyemi, some of these correspondents were all fake. I can't remember, or I'm not sure the National Assembly has a department for forensic investigation. So how did he do that? By just viewing with your optical eyes the signatures, or what? You know, but like I said, I didn't expect much, and I wasn't disappointed with the outcome.
Okay, if we say this, so are we saying that, because this morning we just talked about having closure to this story, and it pretty much seems like we're waiting for the grand presentation and grand announcement. Are we saying that as we edge closer to the end of this? By the way, I just also want to ask, what do you make of the fact that the embattled prince has not been given an opportunity to sit with the lawmakers to also tell his own side of the story? Because it seems like he would never get that chance, and they're about to close. How do we call that a balanced hearing?
He won't. He won't. I'm actually be thinking by now. I'm sure he has been, well, not use the word cajoled. He has been made to submit to the fact that, look, let this whole thing go down and we'll take care of you. That's my own belief. I don't know. Because this is a gentleman that was spitting fire, and most of his claims, or allegedly what he claimed to be what he gave out to certain individuals, and part of what they were asking him from his takeoff grant and all. And because he reneged on some of them, and that was why this whole problem started. And yet, that same individual, you claim to have arrested him, nobody can talk to him. You are claiming court orders. And you also remember, they took that guy, arrested him, make him look miserable, the picture they sent out in the police station. Meanwhile, the video that came later, the guy flew private jet into Abuja with his friends. He was not looking intimidated or anything. So there is so much cover up. But this is even my biggest challenge. We are talking about one agency now. How many more of this type do we have operating? If the issues that arose because certain monies were not paid to certain individuals, okay, that is why this matter came up. What about the ones that we don't know? I think we should be more concerned about those ones.
All right.
You and I cannot gain access to the Federal Secretariat. You cannot employ 300 people. Your documents cannot be processed by the Federal Secretary to the federal government. I mean, how can they explain away all these things?
Is there any other, is there also a concern? Yeah, is there a concern that even the former Speaker of the House of Representatives and currently with the President was also equally not invited? His name was highly, publicized and used as well.
Who was going to invite him? The National Assembly. If he goes there, he will be taking a bow. That's why I told you from the minute that they constituted that committee and I saw who was chairing it, I knew nothing was going to come out of it. So who was the speaker, former speaker will go there, and who will interrogate him? Please, my brother, just forget about this.
Okay, so now you've said that the House doesn't have a forensic committee or a forensic team, from what you remember, and you wonder if they just use their mere eyes to be able to assess that this was forgery. So who do we now expect to hold to uphold what many would refer to as justice? Because one, they are almost done. They're almost concluding their investigation. The said person, is Prince Adeyemi or Mr. Adeyemi, has not been given fair hearing. And you're saying here that you're not sure that there's been forensic analysis of this document.
But sorry to add to that. They also invited heads of some of these agencies who said the documents were fake.
Yes, Osun Jack. No, okay, well, beyond that now, to say, if from your perspective, you don't have much faith in the ICPC to be able to deliver justice, so then are we then, saying that the court is our last resort? And do you have faith in the court?
I don't have faith in any system in this country anymore, because this present government is basically manipulating everything. And that is obvious to everyone. But okay, now look at the head of service. She owned up that they made mistakes and all, but we should not limit it to just mistakes. If it's true that they make mistakes, should she not go? Should she not resign or be sacked? What about the secretary to the government? The SGF? Should it also, you see, for a government that's intolerant of corruption or to corruption, should not even accommodate this. This happened, and if the man on top is not involved, is not aware of this, heads should be rolling by now. Because they acknowledged they made mistakes. So if people forged all this and you did not know, they could have done more due diligence. I asked earlier, can any of us get an office in the Federal Secretariat and then employ 300 people? If we investigate further, some of these people we are talking about, whether head of service, SGS office, people would have nominated, amongst those 300 people employed, they would have nominated some of the people employed. Yes, they are Nigerians, but who paid them? So for the number of months or years they were there, they didn't get any salary? Who approved the employment? I know the process through which you get employed in the civil service or in government agencies. Who approved it? There's a whole lot they cannot answer. But bottom line, the point I am making is this government is too neck deep in corruption that they are not giving attention to due diligence. The laws are not respected anymore. Look at what's happening with procurement. We have an act, we have a law in this country. Procurement Act 2007, Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007. They have done away with all these things.
Honorable Ogun, I mean, what we are witnessing is unprecedented in the history of Nigeria, and it's a very serious breach of protocol across different departments and agencies of government. And in order to prevent some of this from happening again in the future, I guess that's why Mr. President ordered the ICPC and the House of Representatives are doing their investigation. As a former member of the House of Representatives, Nigerians are also pointing the fingers back at the House of Reps, at the National Assembly for not doing enough due diligence when that agency made its way to the budget. Who typically is responsible for scrutinizing line items in the budget? Is it the Committee on Appropriation and Budgeting, or is the entire Green Chambers, are they culpable? Do they bear some responsibility in this?
Well, I guess everybody, that came from the budget office. Well, yes, they are culpable. Yes, maybe the National Assembly should have also seen it, but the truth is, even before this government, National Assembly really used to give time to, they didn't used to scrutinize the budget the way it should. Because the executive will bring the budget late, and then within a month, they want it passed. It is a bill. The budget is a bill. So you are supposed to scrutinize it, make changes, and then thereafter, pass it. And the executive are supposed to come in to answer questions. But most times they don't do it. Head of MDAs dump the budget, and then when you are calling them to tell you, how did you spend the money given to you in the previous budget? Now you're asking for new ones. Most times they are not available. Other times they say they are not in the country. I remember one time under Saraki, he told the President Buhari that, look, we cannot even do anything to this budget. So tell your ministers and permanent secretaries to attend our meetings. Otherwise, we will not pass your budget. That was the last time we had a National Assembly. Guess what, even? Right now, when I was leaving the House in 2023, the press call, National Assembly press call, came in. And one of the questions was, the 9th Assembly is acclaimed to be rubber stamp. What's going to happen to the 10th Assembly? And I told them, I wasn't prophesying. I said the 10th Assembly would be rubber stamp pro max. Then correct me if I am wrong today. So even the ones that were a bit active, we were not doing the work because we were not given the time to do the work. Is even this rubber stamp 10th Assembly that would even investigate anything? But they are not allowed to do that. They are not allowed to do it.
Okay. So that means it's safe to say that the defense that the Senate gave with the National Assembly, that they will, it's not within their purview to determine the validity or the authenticity of the heads of these MDAs, because that was the reason why they said they were not going to step into the arena, that they can't, that yes, they would approve the budget, they would look through these line items, but they're not the one to determine the authenticity of the heads of these agencies. That means, is it safe to say that that excuse does not fly?
It doesn't at all. That's why I said it's a bill. It's a bill. When the executive brings a bill, what is the work of the National Assembly? What's the work of the Parliament? It's to x-ray it. It's not just to pass it. But because they have turned themselves to rubber stamp, whatever the president brings, they rubber stamp it and send it back to him. Tear the bill apart, because we are working for Nigerians and not for the president. Tear it apart, look at what is good in it, look at what is not good, take out what is not good, and then pass it. If the president doesn't like it and he brings it back, pleading to say, look, these things are very sensitive, that's why we added them. Then you will give the president or his team reasons why you think those things will not work for Nigerians. They have abdicated their responsibilities for their stomach. That I can tell you for free.
All right. I mean, we're out of time, but why is it that at this point in time, we're having too many documentation issues as a country, and yet we have very intelligent, sound, even experienced lawmakers, but yet we're still struggling with documentation, especially when it comes to laws and bills? I'm also going to segue a bit and talk about take a look at the INEC. President's, what's been trending, the president's school certificate. I was seeing that go online. We did hear that, okay, members of parliament said, listen, it's no longer a case if you don't have certificates, if it's forged and so on and so forth. You were part of that member of parliament. You're a member of parliament, rather. And in 2023, like in 2003, if I'm right, or 2023, while you were there, all of these things may have been properly scrutinized, looked into. Why is it that we're having documentation issues, bills issues from that one? We also have the police one. I don't know if you are aware that while they were about to go through it, they wanted to go through it line by line, and it was cancelled. It was called off, and they just said no need to go through it go through the police bill one line after the other. Is this not going to cause a major chaos, especially for Nigerians as a country, that the lawmakers no longer want to take time to look into issues like this and deal with it?
I will say this for the lawmakers. There are patriotic Nigerians in the National Assembly, but they are few these days. If something doesn't happen to APC, they will truncate this our democracy. I am not prophesying. What they did, when you just reference the police bill, it was supposed to be clause by clause, and its constitutional amendment should have been electronic voting, not voice. They threw away all that. I think the speaker was actually going to do clause by clause. There were members of the opposition raising objections, and they must be allowed to speak. They were not allowed to speak. Then, while he was embarking on the clause by clause consideration, the deputy speaker whispered something to him, and he just put the question. You don't do that. You don't do that. We have become the laughing stock of the world. You don't do that. And I don't think whether they think about tomorrow. All they're interested in is just pleasing the president. And my question is this a democracy? What would they want to be remembered for? It's unfortunate. And that is why this government must go in 2027. Absolutely, they must go. They are not representing Nigerians. They are not representing us. They are not representing me. I don't know about you guys. This is not democracy they are practicing. And something must be done urgently. This is a rape for our democracy. People died for this democracy. And these individuals will just come, daylight, and then rob everybody. This is not acceptable and must not be allowed to continue.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We will just have to wait and see what happens with this investigation, the conclusion of what it will be. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu gave the order for the ICPC to do the investigation. Let's see what he will do with the report and what the next steps will be. Thank you for your time with us.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sergio Sogun. Always a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for
All right. Still here on Breakfast Central. Let's share what's coming up next. Coming up next on Breakfast Central, the federal government to review state police bill for September 3rd. Opposition coalition is bound to fail, FCT Minister Nyesom Wike says. Gazelle deal approved, NEC backs $4.5 billion refinancing plan. Please stay with us. Nigeria's long-running debate over state policing has entered a critical phase. The presidency says the proposed state police executive bill will be presented to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for review on the 3rd of September, following weeks of technical work by the Presidential Working Group, chaired by the President's Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila. The draft legislation is expected to define the legal framework for state police, including issues of command structure, recruitment, funding, and operational responsibilities. The presidency has also invited Nigerians to contribute to the drafting process through public memoranda before the bill is transmitted to the National Assembly. Supporters believe state police could strengthen grassroots security and improve responses to local threats, while critics continue to raise concerns about funding, accountability, and the potential for political abuse.
Joining us now to examine whether Nigeria is finally ready for state policing and what safeguards are needed to ensure it enhances security is Principal Attorney at Advocare Populi Law Firm. Peter Calvo joins us. And also, we have the privilege of having a former Commissioner of Police for Lagos State, Mr. Fatai Wusheni, joins us live in the studio, not virtually.
Former Commissioner of Police for Lagos and Ogun State.
You need to ring the bell for them.
Benue State.
Benue State, yes.
How do you do that?
This is our antebellum, also known as bell of conscience. So,
Thank you.
You're welcome, gentlemen.
once we ring this bell, it means we're here to say the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So, help you. But anyway, thanks for joining us. Just let me quickly run through before we begin the conversation. Just a fortnight, the special advisor to the president, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, put out a statement, State House press release. He did say that federal government announced a 7-week roadmap for national policing bill, invites public input. He did mention, let me quickly see if I can run through and break it down. It says the working group is reviewing the Police Act 2020, the Police Service Commission framework, police regulations, and other relevant laws to support the development of an effective modern policing system. He said the roadmap would actually start from July 27, so it's on, and it will end September 14, 2026. The working group has adopted a 7-week program running from that period of time. This roadmap will involve citizens, professionals, civil society, security agencies, state and local governments, academics, also other stakeholders to contribute, submit, and review. It will all be integrated into the drafted bill. So what is simply being said is that it's not just going to be the lawmakers, they're now inviting you watching us as well, and the gentlemen in the studio. So let's go straight into the question. Let me start off first with, former Commissioner, I know we've asked you this question before, how you felt about the police bill, you shared your thoughts. Has it changed? Do you see relevance now? Do you see why it's important with this update?
Okay. I've always been consistent. It's an idea which time has come. We're already here. It is not about whether anyone feels good or someone feels bad. It is the time. They've set the process in motion, and we hope it will benefit Nigerians. That is the comment I will just speak with
But
regards to
just
that.
to follow up, because, and I would like to use the coastal road analogy. There's a school of thought that feels, the coastal road is not relevant at this point, and that we should deal with existing roads and fix them. And there's a school of thought that feels the federal policing structure, as it is faulty. And why not rejig it, implement several reports that have been done on police reforms before starting a new one? Is that where you fall? What side of the divide are you in?
Sometimes it doesn't matter in this country whether you have a school of thought or not. Once government is ready to do something, they'll go ahead and do it, whether your school of thought is against it 1,000 times or 1,000,000 times. So government will do what they need to do. Some of the concerns that few of us that have served have will still be there. But I just hope that now that they are asking for input from the public, hoping that those inputs will be factored into what they want to give to Nigerians. We feel that some of those things will be addressed. Because where my own point and where some of us are coming from is that where you don't have institutional memory, where you don't factor what you want to do to historical happenings, how did we get there? The factors that made us to get to where we are, have those factors been addressed? And people have also, that's school of thought, like I said, yes, I said it won't matter. Here's a federal structure. There are different types of federalism. A federalism that is put together by centripetal force, and the one that is put together by centrifugal force. And we always like to do comparisons. The places we want to copy, what kind of federalism do they operate? So these are the concerns. And there are some people, I for one feel, does it matter who controls the police? It's the wherewithal that you provide for the police to perform. Is the police actually, because sometimes it's annoying. And I personally always feel bad when Nigerians and the people that are ruling us will come and say, because the Nigeria police has failed. What has made Nigeria police fail? I would not agree that Nigeria police has failed. Something make it to fail. If it was good before, what has made it to fail? Have we addressed those things that have made it to fail? So if you say Nigeria police has failed, we have all failed. The police represent the community. The police reflects the government. So if the police has failed, the government has failed. So for you to come and say that Nigeria police has failed, I would disagree with you. It's annoying. And I think it's also a disservice and, an embarrassment to some of us that have served to say, it's because of the failure of the Nigeria police of the present system. No, I disagree with that. They do give them what it takes to perform. So we are in there. It is what it is. The president has taken a very bold step. We are more or less decentralizing Nigeria. Some of those things that had been very, very difficult to do. This president has come to say, okay, let us do devolution. They started with the electricity thing, the correctional whatever bill. So we are going to the Nigerian police. But I believe that the people that have been put together will be able to solve it because we keep on using police. Is police just the Nigerian police that we have now? Because every institution that performs law enforcement duties, that will include civil defense, it will include immigration, everyone that performs law enforcement as per definition in the international standard, in the international, within the international norms, the United Nations norms, is that once you perform law enforcement duty, you are doing policing work. So if you keep on saying police, police, and you are just bringing out what we have now as the Nigeria police as the police, and you feel once you tamper with that, others will remain. What of the other ones that are performing policing duties? Those are the concerns, and it is what it is.
Okay, I want us to bring Peter into the conversation, and I'm going to make a quote that the former Speaker of the... okay, I can't find it now, this link just closed, but he did say something about how state police cannot mean 36 state militias. He said that no individual, no public personnel should be able to control the state police. So we know that we still need the 36 states of state houses of assembly to approve of this. What happens where, or first of all, how realistic is it that all the 36 states houses of assembly will buy in? And what happens where some of the states opt out?
Okay, thank you for having me. I would think that under the principles of federalism, the states are somewhat independent if we practice through federalism. And so what I think should happen, in my view, is that we should have a situation where we are not coercing the federal government should not coerce any state to adopt it immediately. They could do it as much as you have the capacity. So I believe this framework is to give that leverage to enable the state houses of assembly enact their own laws, to establish their own police, reflecting their internal dynamics. Because I believe every state has its own challenges, security issues and all that. So I believe it should not be a matter of... Because even we're going to talk about the issues of funding, for example, yes. And I believe all states do not have the same financial muscle. Exactly. So are we going to... Because if we don't deal with that issue as we go along, as plausible as it looks as the issue of state police, if we don't deal with the issue of funding, for example, what is going to happen? Are we going to have policemen who are not well cared for, well kitted, well trained? Which are some of the issues that have led to what the former CP said, people say that the police are failed. So some of those issues have to do with the issue of funding, issue of kit, issue of training.
And they will still be there.
You understand? So are we ready? So I believe not all states
have the same capacity.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
And unless you have that capacity, I believe you should not even... no state should try it if you don't have the capacity.
I mean, some states do. If you look at the risk assessment, a state like Cross River, for example, or Akwa Ibom, they're not dealing with a lot of security challenges. Does it mean they will have to establish their own state policing department?
I don't know. I don't want to think there's any state that will not deal with a security challenge. I believe every state...
Not at the scale of, I mean, other states.
Plateau, not at the scale of Plateau State or...
Yes, I would believe that one of the duties of the police is also to prevent
such
a crime. So even if all they do is to prevent crime, gather intelligence and help, I believe states that have the capacity should do so. Although I have my concerns.
Which are?
Yes, so my concern is the conversation about providing safeguards has always been about politicians. So the narrative that you hear is we don't want a situation whereby the governor will not use it against political opponents. Nobody's talking about human rights abuses. This is an issue that angers Nigerians. This is an issue that makes Nigeria angry with the current police that we have. There's so much human rights violation that is going on, and we all know it. Illegal detention, torture, collecting money for bail, which I would like to call official kidnapping. Because if, for example, you arrest someone, you detain the person, and you say, unless you give me money, I will not release you. That is ransom. Those are the type of things that Nigerians are dealing with. And some of them, you can also link it to lack of training, lack of, they are not well cared for, some of them. And then this is what we see. So the conversation, I've not heard it, and it's annoying me. I've not heard it that, what are the safeguards we are putting to ensure that people do not detain? Are we going to proliferate the system that we have? Are we going to have, for example, if I'm traveling from here to Delta State and I have 20 checkpoints that some of them are extorting money from the civil pope, are we going to have proliferation and those days would have 20? Is that what are we doing? So I believe we should take this to the Nigerian people need to benefit. Not all of us are politicians.
So
Okay.
let's ask a former police
and just to add to
commissioner.
that,
Let me latch on that first.
Yes.
Even with regards to control, I've always talked about institutional memory. How did we get here? The preamble to the constitution of what they called the Minority Commission on Police in 1957, when the different regions took their concern, before the government as to control of the police. The preamble to that willing commission constitution is that no police force in Nigeria should, so far as its use and operational control were concerned, at any time come under the control of political parties. And hence, the need to strictly safeguarded by special constitutional provisions. That was what informed the 1957 Willing Commission, which they call Minority Commission, that gave birth to what we have as Police Council, which we have made to be moribund. It's the same thing that gave birth to the Police Service Commission. And of course, we've been wobbling and fumbling all along without making some of those bodies to work properly. Before I will now go to like what he said, bills and whatever, let me tell you, and I want to be sincere here, it's not about defending my constituency. The police will reflect the society. When you talk of bail itself, as I sit down here, I served in the Nigeria Police for 35 years, in and out of the country. My experience, I'm talking of practical experiences, that even before those guys ask, you're already bringing money out of your pocket. Oh God, thank you. If you don't take, some of us, they say that man is a wicked man. Even when he releases my person on bail, he refuses to take money. He's coming back to come and arrest him. They see you as wicked. What is abnormal? It is what we have taken to be normal.
So it's a reflection
in this
of
country.
society.
It's a reflection of the society. Your police cannot be better than you. No, it is not possible. If you look at Nigeria, the way Nigeria is set up, we are so used to that, such that once you want to do the right thing, they will interpret you to be a wicked person. And part of the concern also is that, look at the foundation of the present police we have. It was an oppressive foundation by the colonialists. So if you've not looked at that foundation to say that the Nigeria police that is begotten to us, that is given to us, has that faulty foundation, and you are putting another thing on top of it without resolving that. The police in the US, the police in the UK weren't funded that way. The father of the police, as they call, Robert Pell, says your police is you. The people are the police are the people. That was their foundation there. It wasn't our foundation here.
I mean, we
did not.
We even had the Glover houses.
Yes, we did not subscribe to the Robert Pell philosophy of policing when we started police. So these are things we've not addressed. I believe that...
I want you to address what Peter raised about safeguards. And, typical herd mentality, we follow, everybody raises, they point fingers at the governors, or they might abuse it. But he did, the personnel, as a former professional police officer, how long will it take to typically train a policeman? I'm talking of the non-commissioned officers, the other ranks in the police, I don't know what they call them, to make them effective and professional at that basic level. Because we've seen abuses in offshoots of state policing Ebubeagu, and also Amotekun, shaving the heads of people, you know, getting into business that it's not typically theirs.
How long will it take to make Nigerians to conform with basic principles of civilized living? You will start from that. No matter the training you give to the police, if your people don't change, there will not be any change. That I want you to know. And let us face the fact, not because I was a policeman, but I feel unhappy. Everything is heaped on the police. The police probably have some of the best human beings, I want to tell you that. In this country today, I don't see any single institution that have the number of graduates that the Nigeria police has, including those rank and files that you see on the road. I don't see any institution in this country that has the number of lawyers, qualified lawyers, that Nigeria police has. So what are we talking about? It is about the people. If you are changing the police, you are not changing the people. We would just be coming to square zero. My brother here is a legal practitioner, is a lawyer. A situation where lawyers want to write petition for you. I have come to you as a friend to say, oh, my brother, I'm broke, I want to set up business. Can you advance me a loan of 100,000 naira? And maybe after taking your money, you see me doing well, I've not refunded your money. And you come to me and I say that, oh boy, I'm just stabilizing. And you go and meet a lawyer will tell you to say, the only way you can deal with Fatah is, I'll make a petition. They will criminalize a civil thing. That's the petition they will write. So where does the police come in here now? You will put elements of criminality into what is ordinarily supposed to be civil. So in the course of doing that, if you are that upright policeman and you now say, look, it's just a transaction between the two of you, you were friends and whatever, the next thing the lawyer will say that, the police want to turn a complainant to an accused person. It is about us. In all those countries where things are good, it is the institution. We must be able to, develop and advance the cause of our institutions. We keep on saying it. Yes, police have problems. Which institution in this country don't have problems? Such that go to all the level of whatever, judiciary, whatever. So what are we talking about?
Mentioned all of this,
yes.
And because I agree with you that the police is a reflection of society, and I also agree with you that there's no institution that doesn't have its challenges. He's a lawyer, and we understand that even in the legal profession there are complaints. But if I may respectfully push back on something you said that the police cannot be better than their society, and I don't know that I completely agree with that, because the judiciary can argue the same. We have every other day we are complaining about the conflicting judgments. We are complaining about the quality of, the judicial processes and how slow they are. Some have argued that there is some form of selective justice and have blamed the judges. ICPC recently uncovered 908 ghost workers within the Nigerian police. So if we're saying that citizens are the ones offering, for example, if I'm going by the example you gave, citizens are offering the bribe and making the police look bad, I would believe that the police is called to a higher standard, just like the legal practitioners, the lawyers, the judges are called to a higher standard to be able to set the course. When someone offers you the bribe, you arrest them, you take them into custody. By the time it happens once, twice, we've set a standard for how the citizens know that, this person, this institution, they don't behave like this, we won't go there. So maybe the police should be held to a higher standard, the same way that the legal professionals should be held to a higher standard of upholding law and morality in the society. Don't you agree, sir?
I would disagree with you. I will continue to say it. Your police will reflect you. Once you point an accusing finger on the police is from the society. And all those institutions you are mentioning, if you put all of them together, their number is not up to that of the police. It's because you see a policeman every day on the road. Some other institutions do worse things than the police, but because they are not just on the road. So that is why the police represent the government. The police is the face of the government. And that is why some of us are saying that if you want police to be good, they are apart from being your gatekeepers, if you fly into this country, if your police is dressing like a thug, it reflects the government. So the government must take deliberate action, to see what they can do about that. I keep on saying it. Yes, we are not God. We are not Jesus Christ or Holy Prophet Muhammad. But some of the things I've seen some of the things I saw while in the police, honestly, it takes the grace of God for you to stand out. And when you stand out, you are labeled as wicked. While I was there as Commissioner of Police in Lagos State, some people will say, that man is too tough, is too this, just because you want things to be done properly. So what reigns in the country is a country that celebrates absurdity, is a country that celebrates abnormalities. When you do the normal thing, people take you to be a madman. They will even say he's a madman. Even some of the policemen that worked with us, they will say, that's Oga, run away from him if you see him, just because you want to do the right thing. So because of the large number of the police, and unfortunately for the police, is an institution. It's about the only institution, I'm not exaggerating, that has no voice. What do I mean by they have no voice? A lot of oppression is going on in there. Poorly paid, in retirement. You look at policemen that you use all their youthful years.
Isn't the Police Service Commission their voice?
Huh?
The Police Service Commission?
No, sir. Nobody is a voice. The people that would have been the voice for the police are the governors, the police council members. I, as a policeman, if all of us, me and the three of us now, we are policemen, if we are not paid our salary for 3 months, I cannot say yourself, myself, and yourself, we are coming out to say we've not been paid salary. That is mutiny. I can only talk for myself. So an average policeman dies in silence. And that is why the people that are on the road of Abuja today protesting over pension, that is why sometimes, yes, I've been involved with them, talking to them to say this is not the way to go about it. But these guys are saying, you took our voice while in service. You cannot take our voice while out of service. The police still remain the most oppressed people in this country. I don't see any body of people that is as oppressed as the police.
Okay. We've looked at the intricacies, the challenges the police, face. I want us to come back to the bill. So let's analyze the bill now. Sadly, we don't have the bill in front of us. But I'm sure you have it. I was going to say that. So would like you to please maybe share some of the highlights that the bill hopes to conquer and improve the police force. After which our lawyer here, and of course, assistant lawyer who is practicing journalism now, we want to look at the intricacies in terms of how the law will help the police force to be better. But you've glanced through that bill. What are the 5 things, let's pick 5, that you think will make the police force look like the actual police force that Nigeria deserves?
That is fit for purpose.
I'm sure my brother too must have seen the bill as a lawyer. The basic things that I've seen in the bill is, names, changing names. Like, look at the provision that has to do, because it started with that, from section 30-something, those sections that had to do with fundamental human rights, where provisions are made to say, on this, the Nigeria police will do this, or change the word from the Nigeria police to police. In some places where certain bodies were established, change the name from the the Nigeria Police Council to National Police Council, change the name from of the Police Service Commission to National Police Service Commission, State Police Service Commission. So those are the basic things that are there to act as safeguards. But as it is now, it's a framework that they want to do. The committee has asked that Nigerians should, contribute into it. I know a whole lot of input will be put. It's just, I don't know how much time they will have to articulate, to compile those things. And whichever way, if we don't start, you won't probably know whether a mistake has been made. Let's start first. It is what it is. I will keep on saying that. So when we start, it will just be an ongoing thing. And of course, this is when we will now know, okay, which state has capacity. I can bet you, not all the states will start at the same time. Some states are ready with their own nucleus of what can be whatever. Look at what President Tinubu has done. Honestly, you probably want to give it to the president. We've been talking of devolution. We want to decentralize. They started with the electricity thing. How many states in this country has been able to leverage on that provision? Then the correctional, act, where they say, okay, states can now even establish their own. How many states in this country? Look at the local government autonomy thing. How many states has been done? This is where we know who has the capacity, who doesn't have the capacity. Once they put the framework, I hope that they will put safeguards and everything. We would see how states will be able to leverage on that and, start having their own. But I can bet you, it is an ongoing process. In another 2-3 years, some states will not be able to form their something. And we now go back to it to say, maybe all of you are agitating before. Some of the present sitting governors, by the time they leave office in 2027, some of them that have canvassed for state police will come and sing another tune. Because when that bill was passed, that was when people were saying, oh, they are too much in a hurry. Don't do it before election. And the president is saying, no, I'm ready to.
That's the biggest question I think from every Nigerian. So why the rush? Why the rush?
But as of the time we've not done it, we are asking for it. Now they've put it up. We are saying, why the rush? So that is to show that Nigeria is a complex country.
Okay.
And it's difficult to satisfy us.
All right, let's bring Peter into the conversation. But just before, I bring Peter in, I must mention that there is a website if you need to understand more about the state policing bill and you want to contribute. It sort of breaks it down for you. It is nationalpolicingbill.com. I'll take that again, nationalpolicingbill.com. When you open the website, you can see Understanding Nigeria's Policing Reform, what the National Policing Bill means for Nigeria. It's a plain language guide to the reform, what is changing, how it becomes law, and the 17 themes open for public input. Now, let's talk about the part that says open for public input. The public has been invited. How much influence does the public really wield in being able to determine what changes are implemented in this bill?
So public input is part of the legislative process. It's a normal thing. When you want to enact a bill, for example, after the second reading, you take it for public hearing, and so that gives opportunity to Nigerians to bring in their input. So it's a normal thing. It's not the only issue is whether the president, the National Assembly, rates Nigerians enough to be able to accept the input that Nigerians are going to bring, or is it just a charade? Is it just to say, let us just do it? Because a bill such as unbundling the police and giving state powers to start is not something that we should rush. Because the police is a very important institution of state. People that have the power to carry gun, people that have the power to detain people. So we cannot rush that. We cannot do it as the national anthem be. The eyes here is back. We should not. Why are we rushing to? Yes, we understand. We need, because of the security challenges that we face, one of the advantages of this police, the state police, will be that we'll have more manpower, and then we'll recruit people from within the states who perhaps are better, they understand the environment better. Yes. Okay, so the input is a good thing. We commend them for doing this, but we pray and ask them.
But they are not mandated to take.
So even when you say understand the environment better,
yes,
it's one of the areas I've disagreed with people. Because I listened to the Deputy Speaker when he said it's our home people that will now be policing us. What are they talking about? if I stand to be challenged, go to most of the states. Some of the policemen that are working there, in Ibadan, where I come from, some of them have become ballet there. They may not be from Ibadan. He has been working in Ibadan for the past 10, 15 years. And you are saying he doesn't understand the environment. What are we talking about? It is not about understanding the environment. We have experimented it. Go back to your state. That they asked certain rank up to deputy superintendent of police to go back to their state. They were sent back to their state. They fought to go back out of their state. So the premises upon which all these things have been based. And you know, when you also talk of public hearing, I believe that Mr. President meant well for Nigeria. I believe that the committee also meant well. But you expressed a concern, which I will also express. I've attended 1 or 2 public hearings at the National Assembly. May God help us in this country. Because some of the public hearings, when people already have their mindset, sometimes without prejudice, they've already finished the bill they want to.
That's a concern.
So it's just to say, let us fulfill righteousness. So sometimes, I'm sorry, I'm not, but it's a concern. And like you said, the police is such an institution. There are 3 institutions that keep a democracy. You have the judiciary, the military, and the police. And the police is one of the most important one, because without the police, others will not work. The military is supposed to come out when there is war. It's the police that is there on a daily basis. And when you are dealing with such an important institution, you have to be very careful. You said powers of detention, even powers of life and death. A constable, the power he has in his hand, or a corporal carrying a gun, is such enormous. And that is why we have to be very careful. We need state police. I have always said, not just state police. We need a whole society policing arrangement. We would mouth the United States of America. What United States has is not state police. United States of America has well over 2,000 agencies for law enforcement. So what we need is proper grassroots policing, proper grassroots security, a whole society approach to security, a whole society approach to policing. That is to say that you cascade the thing. And we already have something similar. Almost all the states have what they call, okay, Lagos has LASTMA. In Oyo State, we have what we call OITMA, Oyo State Road Transport, Road Traffic Management Agency. They are doing police work. So some of these people do this quasi police work. So it's not new.
Neighborhood Watch.
Yes, we just, Neighborhood Watch has been operating since when I was there. It was when I was there that we started Neighborhood Watch. I submitted input to the State House of Assembly. They've been doing their work fine. So what we need is proper grassroots. And some of those things for people that we submit opinion is even when you start recruitment, we are not United States of America where residency comes in. So how do you recruit? Are you going to recruit as per residency or as per indigence?
So many
I have cited examples with Amotekun that in some places, that is why, say in Oyo State now, the Hausa community in Sabo, in Ibadan, will probably tell you that they don't have so much confidence, because they will tell you that it's only our home people or your state people that are recruited into the place. And if you carry Amotekun to Sabo, and I keep on saying it, I'm not trying to disparage anybody. I'm from Ibadan. I was born in Ibadan. I don't know the nooks and crannies of Sabo like some people that were born in there. And you are not putting them in the security and policing structure of that area. So what do you call grassroots policing? What do you call community
They're
policing?
excluded.
Yeah.
We have a lot of work to do. Is going to, once, even after submitting whatever, after the presidential review, after it must have gone through all the states. And we are also talking of a period where I think as from this month, campaign will start.
Exactly.
So the only serious thing that is going to happen in Nigeria now, his campaign.
Let's
So our
talk about
attention might be
working
divided.
group
But
itself.
before we...
The working group,
Yeah.
sorry, please. The working group itself, some of the criticism from the beginning of the working group was even the chair of the presidential working group, the person of Femi Gbajabiamila. Whilst we reckon that there is Section 36 sub 5 that guarantees presumption of innocence, we can't also take away from the fact that there have been accusations leveled against him. And there were those who said, if these accusations, as in if the presidency considers the weight of these accusations, we're not saying that he's guilty, let him not be given fresh responsibilities pending the conclusion of investigation. As a lawyer, in the interest of fairness, those who argue or put forth this argument, is there weight to this?
I do not think so. I do not think there's weight in that type of argument, in my opinion. What we're dealing with is a different thing. We're talking of reforming an institution. So it has nothing to do with...
reforming an institution, and the argument is that this person has been pointed fingers at in a corruption scandal.
You started very well by saying there's a presumption of innocence.
Yes.
So at this point, we cannot, pronounce him guilty. That can no longer... We have not removed him. The president has not removed the chief of staff. So he continues to function. And in fact, what he's doing now is not a constitutional function. It is at the prerogative of the president to say, help me coordinate this, and that's what he's doing. Having said that, I want to... The CP retired was painting a picture of something like helplessness, like when we say nothing will happen and all that, and obviously from his experience, having attended some of these things. But what I want to call on Nigerians this morning is that we must not abandon our country to only the elected officials. We cannot do that. Now, the CP started again and gave us a historical context that the police that we have is the one that was bequeathed to us by the colonial masters. And that's correct. And that's why we see the fault, everything, the way they do their things. Perhaps this is the time, this is an opportunity for us to have a Nigerian police. And the way to do that is that Nigerians should be concerned. We should not keep quiet and say, there's nothing we can do. No, we must come take opportunity. If possible, we submit our memoranda. If possible, peaceful protest if need be. For example, because I'm also concerned, for example, this bill, are they talking about training? Who is going to train the state police? The state police, who is going to train them? Is it the Nigerian police, which most Nigerians feel have not done well or have not done enough? I say this not to discourage the good police officers who are doing their best for society. We salute them, we encourage, we honor you. However, there are so many unscrupulous ones amongst their midst, and the system has not been able to deal with them. So my worry again is that who is going to train them? Is it set of people going to train these people? Nemo that quote not have, but you can't give what you don't have. So I'm saying, and I'm employing this money, that bill should talk about training. Who? Which agency?
I'm sure it
You see that the
And it should also talk about funding. Funding. Where's the funding going to come from to fund these people? It should talk about roadblocks.
Okay.
Is the
see,
police
the
one about
police
standing on
is
the road
not
and say, show
trained
me your
that you are
paper, show me your paper? Is that I mean,
my
how
brother,
long are we going to continue
you see,
like
this
this?
training you are talking of, sadly, I can tell you how much money is provided for police for training. The highest police institution in this country is the Police Staff College. And I think it was built around 19 whatever self. And it was American government that gave us the money. Up till now, it's still at the first phase, such that even some of the adjoining lands that belong to the police have been hijacked by some people. So if you don't provide, when you want to train, as of the time I was going to join the police, they say, oh, the best cadets amongst us will be sent to Wakefield to go for further training. And we finished. Yes, government said they are broke. They are not sending you to Wakefield again. We had all these facilities. The police college, Ikeja, had trained people from Rwanda, from all over Africa. But it is a ghost of itself as of today. So if the government don't make those facilities, the funds available.
It's not the fault of the
police.
police.
Yes, it's not the fault. Everybody will say, oh, they are funding the police. What of police budget? Go and look at police budget. You would be surprised. And that is why sometimes I do ask questions.
And the police they buy their uniform as well, right?
Mr. Osheni, just before we begin to wrap up this conversation, there's also concerns about interagency rivalry and now you have state policing, because what's going to happen to jurisdiction, and how do you prevent inter-policing rivalry? Because the typical Nigerian police force and then the state policing, you might have competing orders, who can detain, what facilities do you detain in, are you going to build new barracks for the state policing, what happens to cross, will there be cooperation across different states and jurisdictions? These are some of the concerns of Nigerians.
You see, once the framework...
And promotion also.
Once the framework is established properly, there shouldn't be jurisdictional problem. But whether you like it or not, it's the same government that caused problem. Look at the present system we have, proliferation of security agencies. You are saying the police is not good. You went up to set up
NSCDC, forest guards.
Some people say Peace Corps or whatever. You take a fraction, starting from even the EFCC, the ICPC, the NDLA. These were jobs combined by the police. As of the time the police was doing it, you don't fund. So you take an infinitesimal unit out, and you now fund it more than the father. So what you are budgeting for those small bodies is more than what you budget for the Nigeria police. And of course, mind you, the government is as to their advantage. Because some people have said, oh, it's because somebody was a president and you want to tell someone who is from his place, or because he feels that he cannot oppress the police. He feels that the IG may be too difficult. That is why they set up a certain body. So once it's convenient for government to say, look, this is like when I was there, we know the rules as to giving holidays to people who are entitled. So some people will come to you, and if I say, look, you are not entitled, as per extant rules and regulations, the next thing is that it goes to civil defense, which probably doesn't have, that authority. If he's not carrying civil defense, he will carry Boys Brigade and Boy Scouts, because everybody in Nigeria, an aberration, thinks uniform is an object of oppression. If this, my brother, will win election now as chairman of the local government, the first thing he will request for is he wants somebody to be. They now see human being as chattels.
So sad.
Standing behind them, such that someone will want to read an address. You have a whole human being carrying paper, following you, or someone carrying bags for. That doesn't make any sense. You have reduced your police, and these guys don't have, authority by law. They cannot challenge it on their own. If you challenge it, you are dismissed. I have faced situations where I told people, look, as per whatever you are elected to, you are not entitled to this. Before you know it, they will run to the president. That commissioner is wicked, or they will go to the governor. That commissioner is wicked. So you now go outside at public function. You find out that it's already having another uniform person behind him carrying guns, such that when you get to public function, you will see guns facing guns. This one is, my principal is higher than your own. Where do they do that? Heck.
So
even when the Prime Minister of Britain is moving around, you don't see guns.
Let's go on a break. We have to go on a break.
We'll come back and then we'll wrap things up. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. We're still speaking about the National Policing Bill that, of course, is being discussed. I just want to quickly highlight the themes. Our guests are still in the studio. It's going to be looking at 17 themes, and the themes span across: 1, constitutional status, powers, and institutional design of the National Police Council and Authority; national minimum policing standards; 2, 3, state readiness, certification, and forms of certification; 4, inspection, compliance, monitoring, and enforcement; 5, federal and state policing architecture and cooperation; 6, federal police transition and Police Act restructuring; 7, Police Service Commission architecture; 8, state police service establishment and model state law; 9, rank equivalence, personnel transition and scheme of service; 10, operational powers, criminal justice interface, and data/forensic systems. If you'd like to find out what the remaining
that last
themes
one
are.
is the interest of
I mean, there's even the use of force, firearms, equipment, and public identification, theme 11. So there are many themes that will be explored. Visit www.nationalpolicingbill.com if you'd like to find out more details about this, and if you'd like to submit a memorandum. Before we went on break, Benga, you wanted to ask a question?
Yes, Mr. Osheni, but the Nigerian police does have a special protection unit for VIPs and private individuals. So I guess it's part of their work too, to provide some level of protection to VIPs.
Who are VIPs? Is it you that you have contested election now, that your fathers, your mothers, your brothers and sisters say you should go and contest? That is when you are doing your campaign. No. Immediately you get to the office, there are no more your brothers and sisters. You are going back to the village. It's mobile policemen and soldiers that will follow you to still go and be harassing those your mothers and fathers that said you should come and contest. Does it make any sense? So how do you define VIPs? I don't know. I'm actually at a loss with regards to that. And we have extant rules and regulation laws as to who is entitled by virtue of the work they are doing. But now, you are probably a senator or a minister. And of course, even under the extant laws, it's not everybody, even those people that we are talking of, that are entitled. But as you are having, your special advisor want to have one, the PA to your special advisor want to have one, their madams want to have one, that will go with them to the market.
It's almost like a social status.
That is it. And that is why
looking at the
they use them
myriad
as chattel. You see, you will say, I need this person to protect myself because of the work I'm doing. Are you not the one that said you want to do the work? That is number one. Then number two, if you need him for security, the guy is carrying a rifle, is carrying the briefcase of your money. So if there is an attack, is it your briefcase of money that he should first defend, or yourself? Because when you look at those things, sometimes it doesn't make sense to me.
Now, before we wrap up this conversation, we have a myriad, I mean, just from our discussion this morning on the show, we can see we're barely scratching the surface, a myriad of problems. And we won't be doing ourselves justice if we're just focusing on the problems. At what point do we begin to change our mindset as a people? I'm sure you've seen the Agbero menace, the street urchins, which have become a problem in Lagos. Where do we begin to reset society so that the police can truly reflect the people? And is there hope, really?
There is hope. You, myself, my sister here, all of us, get involved. Get involved in governance. Don't come and tell me, if you continue to run away for it and say politics is dirty, you will continue to have charlatans, hoodlums, making laws for us. And whether we like it or not, we must comply. Go and check out of the people that make laws for us or that are governing us, from what background, what were they doing before? Do they have a second address? And that is why they want to perpetuate themselves in that system. So if we don't start now, our children will suffer it now. We must all get involved. Don't let us run away for it. Some of our young people have been involved in student, campus politics and whatever. But when they get out of universities, they will now come and say politics is dirty. If this is my brother now, if I say, oh yeah, go back to the village, go and contest for chairman or State House of Assembly, he will say, they will kill me.
I didn't
yes.
for form.
So if we don't put our mouth there, how will the money also reduce? Then our people must also learn to say that if you are doing, you want to vote because of a mudu of Gary, we'll continue to be oppressed. We must face the reality. It has been monetized. Poverty has been weaponized. Even politics has been weaponized. Election, the whole democratic system. And sometimes you would think that we've redefined what democracy is in Nigeria, because it's not as per what we are talking. Voters' apathy. If you have a population of, say, 5 million, and they say the governor that is governing in a population of 5 million only one election with 500,000 votes. Is that a true representation? Because people are disenchanted. So we must get involved. If we all get involved and we keep on talking, we won't stop talking. It's an ongoing process. Even this state police thing, it's not going to be perfect at once. It's an ongoing process. Okay. At the end of the day, all of us will be all right.
Okay. Thank you so much, CP, for sharing your thoughts and insights with us on this new National Police Bill. Final words from you, Peter. Do you now agree that they should just go ahead and start? Since as we move, the journey is 1,000 miles. We'll keep making adjustments.
It's a work in progress.
Or do you still feel that why the rush? Let's calm down. Because this road map, this road show is just 2 weeks. So the people who are not available, who might spot any lapses or indicate some serious concerns, are they able to effect the changes under 2 weeks? These are the questions. What do you think?
Even the changes are advisory.
What do you think?
So I reiterate my position that we should not rush this type of an all-important legislation.
Haven't we crossed that bridge already?
No, we have not.
No, I'm asking again with what we've discussed.
We should not rush it. Okay, then number two, let me take advantage of this opportunity to give my own memorandum.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
One of it is that, number one, the state police bill should make provisions for funding. Are we going to have a special fund where the budget of the state, the money is deducted as source for state police? Number two, recruitment. Who are the people that are going to be recruited into the police force? Is it going to be a matter of political patronage? I recommend, seriously, that all the names of the applicants should be published for citizens to make impute. If I know this man is a thief, he's a criminal, why do you want to recruit him? I should come with evidence. And such people should not be recruited to the police. Thirdly, is that we should have policing the police. The Nigerian people, the state people should have opportunity under the bill to police the police. What does that mean? That means that we should be able to say, this police officer continues to violate the rights of Nigerians. He's abusing his office, abusing everything, detaining people illegally, collecting ransom from people. I've caught it before. When you arrest people and you say, unless you give me money, I cannot release you. That is ransom, like kidnapping. And if you have people like that, the laws should be such that I can approach the court under my fundamental right procedure, approach the court. And if there are, for example, maybe twice situation of cases of abuse, the judge should have powers to be able to order dismissal of such people. I am saying that the bill, the police structure that is being worked at is plausible, is good, but we cannot rush it. We should take a little time and iron out all the issues and all the concerns on that. Do you know? All you need to do is conduct a poll amongst Nigerians, their experience of the Nigerian police. And when we say Nigerian police, I don't know what the CP retired to think that we're attacking the police. We're attacking the government. The police is not a separate institution. We are holding the government accountable that it has not provided a police that can, that is responsive to the needs of Nigeria. It has provided a police that themselves, most of the rank and file, are victims of lack of proper funding, lack of proper kitting, lack of proper, and so themselves are traumatized. You go to the police station, no empathy. You are the complainant, they collect money from you before so many things are happening. So even the civil defense, I'm not talking of the official civil defense, I'm talking of the local. Do you know that those people even perform better than some of our police? You know why? because they feel a sense of ownership. There's patriotism. It's my people. I want to guard my fathers and my mothers.
Okay.
So I seriously call that we should have, these 2 weeks is not enough. We should take some time and allow Nigerians to reflect. And
well, pending the conclusion of that, because we need to be out, it's www.nationalpolicingbill. You want to share your thoughts, head onto the website and drop your own thoughts.
And in the existing framework, if you have any complaints about the police, there's a police complaint response unit, PCRU, and they are very, they respond to complaints, send them, act on petitions and some issues. And so...
All right.
Let's start from somewhere.
All right.
Exactly.
It's an ongoing process. The president has done well. He has broken there. They wanted to do this thing a long time ago. So let's start from somewhere. It's going to be ongoing. Even in the UK or whatever, they keep on having this ongoing process. And of course, start from, do we really have a Nigeria police? Some of the things we've been arguing, if you look at the name itself, when people were arguing over take the force out of it, make it the Nigeria Police Service, whatever. Go and look at all the other institutions, the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Navy, the Nigerian Air Force. Right from the colonial days, the police remained the Nigeria police.
Okay.
So which makes it not, it has not been domesticated. So there should be talking, the Nigerian police, Nigeria has not honed its police.
that's the foundation.
So those are the kind of things that
We want to be able to get to the point where we say police is your friend, and we really believe that police is our friend. But
The question
thank
is,
you
you
so
don't
much.
have a choice, they are your friends.
Happy customer service week.
If you like, when you are being attacked, go and call a thug.
No, you know.
Rescue you.
I know
It's our police. We must continue to call for reforms.
right.
The police people are good people.
We
They
need to
can
go.
be better, they can be good.
They need to be better indeed. We need to go on a break, but thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much,
Thank
sir.
you.
It's been a pleasure
Thank you.
having you.
Thank you.
We'll continue to follow up with this development, and your thoughts, of course, are very important because it's a public hearing. We're going to break. We'll come back to continue the show, so please stay with us.
thanks for staying with us here on Breakfast Central. After that explosive segment that we had, that segment that touched on the National Policing Bill, it's now time for us to look at the front pages of the newspapers. Joining us is one man whom, once you see his face, you already know his profile, because we've sang that profile so much so that you think brands and companies should be rushing him, like they would say. Rush.
He's looking like a Nigerian politician today.
Absolutely. Yeah, ready?
Yeah, cool. Lafia.
Continue from there now. Continue.
Thank you so much.
Since
for
we're
being
doing
here,
Breakfast
Mr.
Central Hausa.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
That's all for now.
That's all he
Come back
knows.
for more tomorrow.
Let's come back for more or buy the full copy. Thank you so much, Mr. Shizon, for being here.
Thank you for having me. Great to be with you this morning. Good morning to all our viewers.
Good morning.
Let's look at the front pages of the Leadership. First paper we will be touching on. The phone lines are open today. Feel free to call in and let us know what you think. AIG Jimoh under probe over VDM allegations at the top left. Top right, another conversation we had earlier today, PFIPC scandal. I paid so-called DG 400 million naira for contract, says private firm MD. This private firm MD, if I were the one, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I know at this point my opinion doesn't count, or I shouldn't even share my opinion, but please permit me, my colleagues and our guests, I would also arrest him, because you paid 400 million for somebody to get a position. What were you expecting to get in return? Contracts that would surpass that 400 million.
Is it the Prince Adeyemi you're talking
The
about?
person that gave him 400 million, is the one that gave him 400
This is a
million.
new...
He gave it to him that the prince promised him that he will give him contract. You see Nigeria.
Both the bribee,
and the
the
briberon.
sponsor of
And the briberon.
And
400 million, not 40,000 naira.
Not even
You know
not
what is
40.
even- what-
When you hear some value, it amazes you.
You know the fact that he can even come out publicly and admit
It's to tell
that
you
he
the
gave
moral
money. Do these
moral
people know how
decadence.
people are advising them.
No, the moral is
Mr.
just to
Shasson,
tell
will
you.
400 million not set up a solid company for you?
No, it won't. It
Are we
will
even-
bribe.
I mean,
so what are you expecting if you have
We're
400 million
speaking
bribe?
about this as if it's
Normal.
set that
It's 20,000
he did it.
naira.
I mean, it's an allegation. How are we sure
No.
that even
He said he
this
gave him 400 million.
that's him
He wants his money.
alleging that he
In
gave
other
it.
words,
we don't know
whatever
if
is-
it's a matter of fact.
Winga, let me just quote here. Yes, quote me, because that's what actually the embattled DG said. He said he borrowed the money from someone. he borrowed the 400 million from someone with the mindset that when he gets into position,
he will pay back.
He will get contracts, he will run his office, and he will refund the money. Now, he says someone, nobody knew. The person has now come out that I'm the one who gave him that money. I need my money back.
But that person, he should be arrested.
That's what I'm saying. They should arrest that person too. Because if, Mr. Sheson, I don't know, I would like your thoughts on this. If it's 400 million, just like you buy the political party form for 100 million, when you get into the office, what would you do?
No, it's an investment now. Is that not part of what we keep saying?
MMM.
How will you run in a single person, though? And I'm sure if you investigate this person, it might be consortium.
Exactly.
Maybe like four, five people
friends.
to say, guy, if you get this 400 million to this guy, be rest assured that we'll get 400 billion worth of contract.
Exactly.
You know, that kind of a thing. And this is how people have actually been trading, you know, with our lives. Ask yourself, this 400 million you are giving to an individual to get you a contract would definitely set up something that you can employ and engage people and carry out business. But ask yourself, this MD, how did he make his money? Everybody now wants to go into shortcut. My sister just made mention.
MMM, yes, now.
Just invest 400 million and get 400 billion. Invest 1 billion and get 1 trillion. And you ask yourself, where does that happen? A lot of people will ask me and say, Sheson, look at this thing. It looks very juicy. I say, juicy. An organization at this point that will pay you something when the interest rates on its own is about 20-something%. What margin can you make that you'll be promising somebody that you can guarantee him 50% return on your investment?
I mean, even our political lexicon, that word juicy appointments, it speaks to corruption. It means what is juicy about it?
Yeah, because they will tell you there are some offices. They will tell you there are some offices, there are some portfolios that are due. And I ask, is it not service? Whether you are minister of works, or you are minister of humanitarian, all is service. You are just managing your own purview of assignment. But people have now seen using.
Since when the government agencies become fruit shops? Are they selling parfait?
Pineapple.
Or fresh juicy? That is juicy appointment.
This is why at the end of the day, a lot of them will be willing to pay whatever to buy forms, because, and this is why they'll keep pilfering our commonwealth, because you go in there, you spend, it's even with those who are buying 100 million naira forms. When you go in there, there has to be an indictment
on the political party itself.
So it's what is worrisome.
Indictment in the entire
system. It's the entire system.
Entire existence of Nigeria.
Because all of them are doing it.
I'm not even speaking on, you know, feeling the even private organizations now are already penetrating and perpetrating some of these acts where you just have to say, okay, this contract is for the big boys. This contract is for the lower cadre. This one is for this, and you can take care of this particular thing. That's why a lot of us will continue to say we need a system that works. But the question is, who makes the system work? Is it not the same human being?
Nigerians are Nigeria's problem.
Mr. Owusheni said the tax to fix Nigeria is a collective effort. We should all be part of.
So that collectiveness.
But the forms are expensive. But I don't think all forms. I mean, NDC, the ADCs, the APCs will be expensive. You can also go for some.
You are only looking at the cost of. You are looking at the cost of the form. The operational cost. To set up a company is very easy. How much do you go to CAC? Set up the company now.
It is.
So if you ask my sister, when you now have to buy equipment, buy this, buy that. So it is not getting the political form that matters.
It's getting your message across.
So those things that you now be able to convince Joe and say, Joe, I'm the right candidate. I'll do this.
Use TikTok.
And Joe TikTok. But when you want to even use TikTok, you won't use the non-paid one. You need to use the paid version.
Wow. Let's talk to Evangelist Osagi, calling all the way from Lagos. Hello, good morning. Thanks for calling. Please go ahead.
My beautiful sister, good morning.
We greet you specially.
Yes. Let me say this. I'm not flattering you guys, New Central. I was discussing with a colleague yesterday that if New Central go the way of other major national television, that means there will be no hope for this country. Please, I want to tell you guys to keep on your position, please. Thank you. But I when you were interviewed, when this man, I think the commissioner, former commissioner of police, I was was your Sujabi?
Yes.
And you guys should ask them when he was in service, because it's providing solution. And saying this, even some military, retired military, time they come to the studio, they will be providing solution. When they were in service, why did they not provide solution? And he was trying to say, political office holder, when he was in service, I am very sure the wife have a police orderly. That is that. Because we should practice what we preach. You understand? That is that. But let me say this morning, like you guys are talking fake agency here and there, here and there. There is so much. You know what I'm angry this morning? Nigeria, we have almost over 200 million population. How can 200 million citizens be watching, allow just to maybe less than 10,000 individuals to be ruining their country? And we are watching every day. It's not going anywhere. The country is bleeding. There's crisis in our country. And I don't understand. And the last thing I want to say here, how can an employee be richer than employer? If you guys now, yes, are richer than New Central, there will be some questions to be asked now. How can political office holders be richer than the country? How rich were they before they came into politics? And every day they tell the government is broke, there's no money. Even last time, the spokesperson to president, our colleagues, Bayon Nunga, say they were using their personal money to run their office. Okay. How come they should resign now? They have not paid you salary for, they are not getting money. How come you have not resigned?
Okay, Osage, thank you so much. You've asked very, very important questions. If you're not making money, why are you still there? What are you doing there? I mean,
service.
Yes, okay, they love service. I remember I think it was the senator who said he just loves to serve people.
He loves to serve.
That's why he doesn't want to leave.
Now, whenever it's Friday, he's always depressed because he really loves this job. He wants even to work.
Sometimes Saturday, when they pay us, I don't know because I'm doing it for passion.
For passion, I love that spirit, and I think that's the same thing. Then we can from here just take him to join those class.
Exactly.
What people that provide service. There's an important
leadership.
And still on the leadership, I would then say, okay.
Headline.
Which of them?
How do you balance jobs and morality or save people's kidneys and lives? Sachet alcohol ban, NAFDAC raids threatening 5,000 jobs, says Nigerian Labour Congress. Or can you appeal to their conscience and say, you know what, stop drinking while driving, stop drinking on duty, don't sell alcohol to children?
What paper is that?
No, it's leadership.
Uh-huh.
It's leadership.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Sachet alcohol ban. What do you make of this?
Yeah, Benga, when I saw this coming from Labour, I asked myself, is it that we'll support immorality because we want people's survival? We are killing people. The regulator is saying we don't want this. This is the arm. Is actually the level at which we have drug addicts this day. We all agree that is the accessibility to some of these things.
True.
While we're growing up, when you see people that wants to take alcohol, it's always in that big bottle, and it's meant for the big boys. But these days, with Shepway, 15 naira.
Satirized economy.
You know, satirized everything, 15 naira, 100 naira. Somebody is doing it, and before you know it, it's high.
Yeah, miscreants.
And we are now looking at regulation to say, can we have it more? And we are looking at cutting down work. I don't know how to balance it, Obenga. I don't know why Labour are coming this way.
These jobs are lost now, Mr. Okwande. Will you provide jobs for them? What do you expect them to do?
Can't we ask what are other modalities that this organization will put in place, whether they are going to increase more of the bottled. What we're saying is that easy accessibility, the sachet on its own, aside that...
if they drink the bottle, it's more volume that they will be drinking.
Yeah, but at least it will not be accessible to you. You are buying a bottle at the cost of like 5,000 naira, hypothetically, let me put it that way. Compare to you buying a sachet for 50 naira.
What did you say?
He says,
We should ask a customer that do partake in such.
in such that is it.
Oh, so I mean, you can share from experiential knowledge.
He was pointing at you.
No, as a journalist, you should.
No. You go to the disco house every Friday
Are you
and
not an investigator?
you share these things amongst yourself, you and your nice friends.
On a serious,
No.
on a
For
serious
Benga,
note,
there
on a
are no
serious
sachet on the floor.
Oh, you do
It's
drink
the
from bottle.
It's the
Oh,
bottle
wow.
that the big boys use. And that's what we're saying. That create the class. So you can imagine somebody producing something in sachet. That little content that you are actually taking in bottle and you are feeling the big boys have arrived. He's already taking it in sachet.
So you don't agree with labor?
I don't agree with labor. I think that we should do what is preserve our lives as against.
I must say
they
this.
can divert some of these people that are working here to other aspects that they might actually, or you give the company more area where they can do all leverage. When they ban this issue of cellophane paper that is being used, styrofoam papers and the likes, they made alternative now. When you go to mall, they don't use plastic spoon again. There is this wooden spoon. Now, so it's when you kill one business, it gives creativity or research, deeper research for people to see what are the other alternatives. I was thinking that how will the eatery survive with this ban of these plastic spoons and the like. But they came out with that other wooden spoon, and that's where we are today. So, but you can't encourage that this idea, it has now become too rampant that both male, female, underage,
everybody
even
has
law
it in their
enforcement.
pocket.
I saw
We have a caller.
Law enforcement
with the
agents.
yellow brand.
Yeah.
They were sucking at.
Let's take this call. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, we lost that.
We lost solution.
Let's also look at it. Anyway, I would have loved us to stay more on this sachet alcohol ban because whether I like it or not, it would be nice for the traffic warden, the road transport workers have a sit down, and also those who collect data from the traffic management bodies to see the impact. It's going to be crazier than it was because these things are sachetized. You can put it in your pocket anywhere you move on to. Coincidentally, the bigger brands, the bigger international brands that deal on alcohol have a complete CSR that states clearly that you must not drink, and they hold on to that CSR. That's why you wouldn't see them sachetize to a certain degree.
Some even encourage people to drink. They go on campaigns.
Yes, they have campaigns.
A lot of water.
They say take a lot of water after drinking and so on.
Okay. Hello, Pastor Martins. Thank you very much for calling all the way from Edo State.
Okay. I'm going to say Honorable Olive and Benga and the rest of the guys. I'm going to say you are doing a great work.
Thank you very much.
And I actually saw, I heard the bishop.
Bishop? Bishop, they are hailing.
I didn't know mine was coming.
Catholic bishop.
I think it's the scarf that is carrying Bishop. I wanted Pastor. See, he has given prophetic title to me. He has already called me honorable.
But we're going to move to the military. Let's talk about the salary increment. Starts September 1st, by the way.
Yeah, good move by Mr. President. We've acknowledged the fact that our military forces need to be motivated. But beyond this salary, I think there are other tools I will want Mr. President to actually work on. You can have the salary. If you don't have the tool to defend yourself, it becomes a problem. So you will not be sending them out without equipping them with the necessary thing that should be. And this speaks volume. So if the military men are actually being considered because of their service to the nation and to humanity, that what they consider as their take-home of 70,000, because they've been on minimum wage with everybody to about 187,000, is to speak to the fact that those in civil service, those that are actually out of civil service, that are in the private sector, what are we doing to alleviate the problem? And a lot of us have said, I don't like so much when you talked about giving people money. Provide other activities that will make life more meaningful. While we're growing up, people have access to good education. This 187 minimum that you're talking of for the military people, the question you want to ask yourself is, what can this offer them? Good school, good education, good road, comfortability in terms of housing and the likes. I feel you can even do less than this and make provision of all other things that we have access to. I will continue to say it. Here in Lagos State, there was free education on the part of Lagosians where, it was a leveler for everybody. So it wasn't about the take-home of the parents. Free quality education.
Not just free, quality.
And when you talk about the quality, Joe, I will tell you, we are taking textbooks. I remember, I don't know if any one of you use Ile-Somi writing method.
Please, I don't know. I'm a Gen Z.
Where we make use of
like that,
we make use of Lacombe, Macmillan.
I feel bad that I know these things you're mentioning.
Why should you feel bad? Most people know you.
And they gave us those things. No, yes, now. And they gave us those things. We take them home. They give us 2B for mathematics, 2D for writing.
In quality.
The back was blue. In nature, timetable at the. I keep remembering
public schools.
Public schools. I attended public school, both at primary, at secondary level, and we have access to those things. So it was not worrisome for our parents to think about the expense on education. But ask Benga what he will be paying. Even for daycare, not to talk of a child that cannot read it.
What I'm paying already.
Okay. What? Okay.
Yeah.
So so those are areas where we feel that we need to work. It's not increasing the salary. Provide those basic amenities that we can have access to and make life more meaningful to balance up. Okay. And that will equate everybody. This 187 will still not go anywhere.
But that's all on
step in the right direction.
Because the truth is that...
but remember that other people too will now come and call now.
Like now, Benga is about to go and meet HR. We have a call from Port Harcourt. Hello, Frank. Good morning. Thanks for calling.
Oliver, you are in the studio.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Comment on the salary increment policy.
Yes,
it's a welcome development. I want to thank Mr. President this morning for increasing the salary of the military. These people have suffered for us. Some of them died in the bush just for us to live. And it's better for Mr. President to take good care of them. Let him also extend it to police and paramilitary. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. So we are extending it.
We're extending it.
Yeah, we're extending it.
This should ordinarily give the incumbents the idea that this has been all the while what Nigerians have been asking for in the past 3 years. Yeah,
you see, Joe, aside this salary increment, what is the life of the family of military men that lost their loved one in the course of service? That should be taken care of. It's not about what this person take home now. You should be able to, that my dad is an army and is serving the country and he died in the cause, should not truncate my education, should not truncate good access to the health facility. And that's what I'm saying. Beyond this that Mr. President have done, I appreciate it. We acknowledge it. But you should understand the fact that it's a wake-up cry. There's a benchmark. The civil service will, definitely will come out now to talk about their own contribution. But we need other infrastructure that we can have access to that will relieve the burden of an average parent and give life. The same life they enjoyed. How I wish that we can reduce to like 30% the current state of private school.
Okay.
Because I will tell everyone that care to listen, I didn't attend private school. And we got the best.
Many people.
We got the best. Most of the time when I tell people that I attended this school, say, no, don't say it now. You attended Harvard. Harvard, leave all those things.
Harvard.
My school was beside New Garage. Yeah, you go to Ojota now. I'm proud to say it. I'm a product of Ojota Secondary School. Okay. New Garage was beside us. But then, the quality of teachers, how they are well motivated, and saying was obtainable in most private public schools. That then, you know the people that go to private school.
And it's said that the beneficiaries of this quality education
are the
political appointees now.
Yes.
Are not doing a better job at increasing those facilities? Or
We now have more private schools.
Before, when we started, that if I bring 400 million, give me contract of 4 billion.
Let's move to another Daily
paper.
Trust, because the big story there is very important. Whilst we talk about the increase in salaries for law enforcement, I mean, we did tell you about the military minimum wage hitting 187,000 as President Tinubu approves 30 to 80% pay rise. But the reason why this is an issue is because, again, they constantly have to be on the lookout. Their lives are, they are fearing for their lives. Look at the big story. No, now let's move to Daily Trust. Daily Trust says, many fear dead as gunmen attack Sokoto again. Sokoto is in the news again. Now, the attack occurred on Monday. It saw assailants set ablaze 2 security vehicles belonging to the Nigerian Police Force and the Sokoto State Community Guard Corps. Sokoto State Police Command confirmed the deadly attack by suspected Lakurawa militant on Gerkau community in Kebe local government area of the state, which left a police officer and 2 civilians dead, several others injured, and an unspecified number of casualties rustled. I don't want us to ever get to a point where we're going through the front pages of the newspapers and we see a story about someone being killed or an attack occurring. And typically, in most papers, it'll be in small corner like it was in the leadership. I'm glad that Daily Trust put it as a big story, because we always talk about how we're becoming desensitized in Nigeria to the lives of, Nigerians being snuffed out.
Yeah, thanks to Daily Trust for actually putting up this, Olive, whether it's in small corner, it's in the bigger headline, the fact remains that has there been any day we will come here without talking about kidnapping, attack. If I don't come, every other people that comes speaks to the level of insecurity.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying that. How do you attract more people to come into military when the number of the people that you are losing on a daily basis is not in equality with the people that are coming into service? Imagine 3 people are fired dead here. We don't know what will become of it tomorrow. And that's why we say, can the government be more intentional? I don't know the strategy. And that's why when I listen to the state policing of a thing, I've been an advocate to say whether the governors will use it as an advantage for themselves. A lot of us want a situation where we can hold the governors accountable for the security issues that happen in their state. For example, in Sokoto State, what is the governor doing? What are the things that you've done? What are the things you've put in place to make sure that we don't have occurrence of this rather than waiting for the center? Now it's a major subject of discourse. It will get to a level, by the time we start state policing, it will you might see it concentrated in some area. And people will just say, please, let's leave those areas because it's now security porous. People go there and they are being attacked on a daily basis. We cannot continue to go with the architecture of the center. Let this state policing receive the speedy attention required. That is just my own position, so that we can start holding these governors accountable of things happening in the, how do you want to attract foreign investors? Yesterday, I was listening to the business summit that was done Delta Investment Summit. And I asked myself, how are we having handshake? We can give kudos to this state. We can give kudos to this state. How are we annexing those things together? Synergizing some of those things together. Yeah. Delta cannot have those things alone on its own. And we've said it, when you have your FAC meeting, when you are sitting down, when you have your FAC meeting, you are sitting down as governor, you should be able to say, these are things I've developed in my area that I'm bringing out to you for you to have a buy-in. And we can see how we can progress in it. But here we are, everybody is working in silo. And when it even comes to security, it's about, let me just do it and call on Mr. President to come out. No, let the state take responsibility. We cannot be reading this.
To give exact numbers and exact details, the Daily Trust reports that it's an assistant superintendent of police, Bala Wakili, that was killed on Monday in a fierce-gun battle with bandits in Kebe local government area of Sokoto State, as fresh attacks across Kebe, Sabon Bereni, and Shagari local government area left many feared dead. 37 were abducted, and others were displaced. It was said that the attackers invaded Gerkau and Zugu villages at about 4 p.m. and rustled an unspecified number of livestock. According to one of their sources, a joint security team comprising police officers, soldiers, and members of the Sokoto Community Guard Corps mounted an ambush for the bandits as they were leaving the village. There was an ensuing gun battle that lasted for more than 1 hour, but unfortunately, the bandits were more in power. Our souls, our heart goes out to the family of the slain police officer, as well as others who have to mourn this loss. We continue in the fight against insecurity. We'll go on a break, and when we come back, Breakfast Central continues with the papers still being reviewed. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. We're still reviewing the front pages of the papers, and Olusegun Kwade is still in the studio with us. Let's now head to the Guardian newspaper. On the front page of the Guardian, 40% salary increase agreement, 57 state varsities and others in limbo over selective implementation. Police shot Abuja Stadium over security threat, 21 feared dead, 37 abducted as bandits raid Sokoto Plateau communities. Owando targets 100,000. Okay, moving on. That one feels like. ADC Rulak, Showare fault state police bill process over transparency and timing. WAFCON, federal government unkept $100,000 promise rock Super Falcons camp. Ew. I think that's a good place to start. No.
They won 2 years ago and they gave them $100,000.
Did they give them that promise?
We don't know if they have collected it.
Exactly.
No.
So
when you say they give them,
the federal government unkept $100,000 promise.
From unkept.
Yes.
Yeah.
They promised them.
There's one thing to promise. There's another thing to
Why do we
commit.
choose to be vehement in denying people what they truly deserve?
Why did you even promise them?
That's the area I want to ask.
I recall during the time of the late Rashidi Yekini and the entire squad, it was until even Nigeria's greatest striker up until date died, and others in the national team, some had even slept, died as well, that the government had to start fulfilling its promises. Benga, I think it was this year, not this year, it was last year, if I recall, that we opened up this show, and I recall our earlier wake-up conversations where we talked about the president promising them these monies. You remember? We said the girls would get this. We were saying this is a good time to be a footballer or something.
Yeah, that's a lot of...
But most of the time, you just see those promises maybe based on the euphoria, that joy that is coming out. Say, no, I'll give you 1 billion without having a deeper thought of your purse.
President Muhammadu Buhari had to fulfill those promises before his death, before he left office. Even though he couldn't...
Even though it wasn't his government.
It wasn't his government, but he had to say, you know what, let's fulfill these promises.
After the Nations Cup winning team in '94.
You see, if you are talking about WAFCOM or the ladies, I keep asking, the promises that they made to the citizen, how much of it are being fulfilled? It's always... So not to not talk of just one section of this thing. I just came back from Ibadan just yesterday, and I asked myself, it's really worrisome that these days you should make as one of your prayer points that you don't fall ill, because to have access to good health facility,
it's a problem now.
It's a serious issue. Problem. I'm telling you.
How do they say? They say the average Nigerian is just
one sickness
away from death or becoming.
I keep asking myself, what can the government? We have fantastic structures. The human capital are not motivated. You go to hospital, people buy things. In fact, when I was there to go and visit, and I was shedding tears for myself to say, people are here, they cannot even afford the basic thing. They say people go as far as buying needles for themselves and the like. So I asked, there's one thing to say, do I even have food? And the problem we are now faced with is, those days we were taught that when you take balanced diet, I can't remember the number of people that take balanced diet these days. You know, those days when we enjoyed when we were growing up. Not too far. Because those days, there were timetables of the food. I know what to eat in the morning, Monday, afternoon, nights.
And you weren't skipping any?
No,
None.
we weren't.
None. Sincerely
It was not
speaking.
101 or 110.
None.
You know, in the morning-
the beauty of it is that you even have understanding to say, okay, I'm going to take pap.
Pap, I was
and
you're
pap
reading my mind.
and akara,
Akara in the morning.
in the morning. That is synonymous with Saturday morning.
Exactly.
You understand? You are going to take coca oats and
Then Sunday jollof rice. You know, okay,
you know
Sunday there's
the
jollof rice.
timetable. I don't think there is any family that can boast of
Having
there
a new
is-
timetable.
Maybe there is. Maybe there only be maybe 3 out of 10.
Eh?
And then maybe 3 out of 10.
If you get 3 out of them with a
Now,
trial,
then you now hear anything where you see.
now you go
Chop.
chop.
If you don't want chop,
You
go sleep.
What about protein? You go to
Animal.
Buka, many they're asking protein. Don't worry.
No, but our government just need to be. We just need to see how to go back to. Anytime I look back, and I will tell people, I'm not that old though. All of us on this call, we are not that old. So when you're looking, say, because when my father was talking to us, those days they will be telling us, when I had Archimedes' principle, I'll be looking at him that, blah, blah, blah. Those ones were very far away from what they say, 1 shekel to 1 naira and the likes. Here we are. A lot of this generation did not even meet 5 kobo. You know?
They didn't spend coins.
They didn't spend coins. A lot of things, and I pray for
What
this
can 100
generation.
naira buy?
Nothing. The least that you can talk about when you want to buy anything
You can't
now
even give
is
it.
about 200 naira. So when you give a child 200 naira, it looks at you and like,
When you're tipping now, you can't tip less than 500.
yeah, of course.
Who
No,
still
no,
tips 500?
Benga, let me tell you what I've done
Who
now.
still tips 500?
Let me tell you what I'm
It
going to
depends on what
do
you're
today.
tipping, no?
I am going to look for 200 naira. If you don't like it, my new mantra.
Where you go get them?
Go and sleep. I go bank now. I'll go and beg.
So
You go and beg. You see,
naira.
that's
Let
the
me
challenge.
change-
See,
let me
my
change
brother,
10,000 naira,
rather
10,000
than
naira,
you
200
begging,
naira.
what we are saying is that thing should be readily available. A lot of people have not touched 100 naira in the last 6 months.
200 naira.
200 naira. So you see more of 500, 1,000, 500. We can't continue that. So when you now give a tip of 200 naira, say, when the person say, oh, God, well done, so I say, he looked at you and say, rather than saying, and those days talked about 50 naira, talked about 50 kobo.
We
But
have
I
to
pray
wrap up.
Our government to just please be more intentional about things that are actually happening. I believe in this country.
They said the economy has stable. That is the macroeconomics has been
Okay,
settled.
I just
The
want to read one
micro
comment
now
on
that-
YouTube. Michael Obieku is giving you a special shout out. He said one of my favorite news analysts is in the house. Sound, balanced, and unbiased analysis. The golfer himself. I greet you especially.
Thank you very much.
Let's tee off.
Okay, me
as we wrap things
as we
up.
wrap up, me, I want to do a special greeting. So I'm in a WhatsApp group with my secondary school mates. So I want to give a special shout out to my St. Bridget's girls. However, I think the most special shout outs, I'm going to be reconnecting with my principal after the show, my secondary school principal. And I'm so excited. Do any of you have connections with your secondary school principals?
Mine is late.
My commandant is late.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Mine is late.
Mrs. Mary Sholanke was a huge part of who I am today. You know, to all of us who were girls at St. Bridget's, she was a huge part of our lives. So I'm going to give her a special shout out. I hope she's watching. I hope she gets to see this. And I can't wait to communicate with her. I'm going to call her after the show for the first time in years.
Oh, that's so emotional.
I know, I'm
You went
blushing.
to St. Bridget's?
Yes, I went to St.
Oh, my
Bridget's.
brother went to that school too.
It's a girls' school.
Well, he used to identify as a girl.
Please, we wrap up the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my
Breakfast Central has
goodness.
been the show. Benga,